Hello, it is Within Amnesia here, and I'm making a video of an idea I had, pretty much yesterday. It's about a hybrid class. Had the idea of looking for or creating a hybrid thief mage class, something like what the bard was, right? Now, what was it? I spent 10 hours, I kid you not, just on the internet, just going crazy nuts. And this is what I have together right here. Now, as you see on the top, there's three classes. There's the Battle Sorcerer, the Spell Sword, and the Beguiler? Yeah, I think that's the one. And below it, there's the kits. Now, I've tried to make this as friendly as possible to a second edition Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game. Um, Now, what these consist of is a main class, and which I tried to make as different as I could, while having supporting kits that give flavor or just make sense that would be attached to the class. And for example, I'll just give some architects or some ideas of each three class here, so you can formulate those in your head as the video goes on. See, the Battle Sorcerer I picked is basically it's like a sorcerer. He uses or he or she or it uses their own innate ability, their body, their talent. They're just raw magic, flesh incarnate. Um, that's their source of power. They're also good with melee combat, right? Or physical combat. That's not just spell casting. So they're a sorcerer. They're a natural, organic spellcaster that, through just natural being, is proficient at spellcasting as like fluid, natural as possible. They're a fluid type of class, right? It's a more talent and innate ability more so than studied, structured uh, talent that's been grinded till eventually you got it. And that'll lead me right to my next point. The spell sword is the dream of a caster and a fighter put together, synchronized, without that weird fighter mage kind of thing where it just, it's just one thing, like a bard, right? But instead of the magic of song and dance and inspiration or intimidation, it uses just well, it focuses just on fighting and magic, just two focused together. It's all the time put into that, just the schools of magic, the traditional mage, the one who spends time researching, studying, perfecting, hunched over, scribbling or writing magical texts and reading them and learning and expanding their mind, and like a scientist learning, chemistry, or a mathematician delving to new math problems, instead of a natural affinity like a savant. That is like a sorcerer is more of a savant, kind of naturally gifted, but more focused, right? A spell sword is a generalist, a person who has to study, who has to climb, who has to spend a lot of time into to get these spell power. They're not naturally talented as much or as exaggerated or standoutness as a sorcerer, right? They have to, through not ornate, but through mundane means, kind of, right? They have to, climb, and they have to process instead of just being naturally, innately talented. So, but the same way they train with their weapons and their swords, right? They, instead of a natural finesse they can rely on and depend on and grow, and they have to train militantly, structuredly. They have to learn through time, through effort, through failure, through to eventually come out as a mixture, a highly focused, highly trained thing that is both magic and is both melee competent, melee, fighting, melee skilled. And now I came across some classes, some prestige classes that didn't fit with this melee and magic. It was trickster, like a thief, a rogue, and also magic weaved in there, like a mixture of a mage illusionist or a mage um, thief. Not a mage illusionist, a rogue illusionist, a mage thief, right? Something that was both sneaky, clever, and also magical and mysterious, right? It wasn't so much about fighting with the sword and stuff like that, like all heavy armor and stuff. More just like magical and stuff, and also very sly, right? And I use the Beguiler class, Beguiler, yeah, as its main base because right here in this totally legal Player's Handbook 2, which I totally didn't pirate off the internet, like along with all these other ones here. It's listed as a class, a playable class. Look at this, Beguiler. You know, it's a mixture of illusion and being and a thief. It's an illusion thief, but kind of melded together as a bard is like a kind of like a mixture of everything in one class. A Beguiler is one class that is a mixture of two. It's a hybrid class of an illusionist thief. And now I'll go right. So now you have an idea of the souls, the grounding forces of these classes. Not be so wishy-washy, but just to get an idea. This one's the naturally talented savants of magic and also melee fighting close range. This one is the studied, orthodox master of arms and master of spells through a very non-weird way of learning, through a very traditional, but very orthodox, very well understood way of learning, right? Something that is, you don't have to have natural innate ability to rely on to become. Something you have to put a lot of time and effort into, and then you get the same results as someone who's just a natural savant who doesn't have to put so much energy in, but they're kind of more shallow ranges. These ones are more like a mage and a fighter. Mage and a fighter. Sorcerer, fighter. Sorcerer, fighter. Thief. Mage. Mage, thief. Illusionist, thief. Okay, so now I'll go to these pages to get more in depth. I've done research. I've been researching. So, okay, that's not the one. Here we go. Right from the start, I got it all lined up. The Battle Sorcerer. Now here's my reasoning behind it. The Battle Sorcerer. Why I picked it as the main class. It's kind of generic. It's not like super specialized. It's basically a sorcerer who is no weak arcanist, who doesn't hide behind fighters, instead capable of physical combat, getting up there and mixing it with power of might and the power of magic, It seemed like a very good base. It was that style, that different style of casting that was the sorcerer, where it's a limited amount of spells, but a lot of them, it's just your amount you can cast per day. It's, and from that, it seemed like a good base, and I found this class, the Hexblade, and I was wondering how this could fit in all these other classes, and I looked down to it, and it's based on charisma, the same as a sorcerer. A sorcerer is based off of charisma as their same stat, innate, magnetism is their strength, and that was a great grounding force I found for this Hexblade. I was like, wow, that's so good with it. It just seems like it's a specialized little neat thing that have character, but it right into that base class that is the Battle Sorcerer, It seems like you can have some trade-offs and stuff, right? And it just seemed like there's a lot of potential to make a unique, kind of almost like a witchcraft battle guy, right? Who uses his charisma or her charisma mixed with innate kind of, hexing and witch magic and stuff and weird, dark magic. It seemed like a really cool tangent from a battle sorcerer. With like just kind of a, it's all over. It's a generalized class, right? Seems like it was kind of specialized, right? And then from that, the mage, the Knight of the Weave. This is I was like, wow, I was reading through this one, and it came to me like it. It was like this guy kind of he's all about the weave as a paladin. Some paladins go to promote divine aspect like law and good across Pharaoh, and it's anchored in Pharaoh, like all the other classes in Baldur's Gate. It is but this guy goes after the weave, itself, that empowers and strengthens the knight of the weave himself. The distinct worshipped it is distinct from the worship of Mistra, the other magic person. Members of the mystic order of sacred defenders cherish the weave as a fine wine. Naturally, organically enjoy it. It comes like just like character-wise. It seemed, and then knowing, its existence enriches all of Faerun. It seems like a very natural, almost nature-esque kind of thing, or like a natural flowing. I get that vibe, not like a structured in a castle, studying in a dank room for hours and hours on, but like more of a flowing, natural, like air, like water. These guys seem like they have a lot of swag almost, If that gets, some points across. They drink deeply from its power. That sounds like a sorcerer when they just dive into the magic. Like, oh, I'm a magic incarnate. Just, whew. I don't have to, go and learn all these crazy spells for a lot of time. I just am the magic, Use the energy to extend its reach and to utterly smash those who oppose their love, their inner magnetism for it, love and charisma. They're similar. The power comes from pure magic distilled like a sorcerer, as a sorcerer is just the pure magic bursting out, with impersonal magnetism and character and just all these crazy things, not unlike a cold mage in a tower studying on hours on end to be generalized, that's not structured down a path, that's all wishy-washy and unorthodox. This is just like almost like a Renaissance person, like just not just all just natural and flowing and relaxed almost, like it seems really cool, like charisma that goes with the paladin's kind of charismatic nature and stuff like that, right? Like when it says deep drink, they deep they drink deeply from its power. That's so much like character. Like, oh man, that seems like charisma to me. Arcane, their powers is arcane, like a sorcerer, not divine, and over time they become imbued with the power of the weave. They become one with it. They become, as a sorcerer is to magic, they are to the weave, but they are a melee fighter, capable of unleashing magic in its raw form, like a sorcerer, not so much a sorcerer, but natural, flowing, organic, talented, of nature, not of artificial design, of just naturally organically flowing into it, There's a restriction. They can't be evil, They're kind of like, kind of almost like the romantic knight, but they're with magic and stuff, and like, whoa, And it just seemed like a really good fit to the sorcerer, fighter, it's class. It just seemed like and it was also really good for a kit because not everyone can be it. Everyone can, like every alignment can be a sorcerer, a battle sorcerer, but these guys can only be neutral or good. That seemed like a really good kit to me. And also the battle sorcerer, it doesn't like, for example, I think its armor is not as it's not, for example, let's see here. Let's read the armor. I don't want to just spout off misinformation here. So let's see here. Armor. Can you spot armor before I can? That's the trick. Weapon. Here we go. Gains with light material weapon of charms, and also gains proficiency with light armor. See that, guys? Light armor, and also gets you can cast spells in battle and stuff like that, right? It seems like light armor, not like not super heavy, right? But he's still more than a sorcerer. But it's and also more kind of specialized weapons. And this guy, he adds Mage of the Weave. He adds where does he add? Let's see here. Let's see here. Here's the big poetic quest. Like cool. That's cool character building right there. Let's see here. Requirements, knowledge, spellcraft, dozens of paladins. I can't see it. Let's see here. Armor casting. You know, he can cast. He has better chance of. You know, he can cast magic and armor at the same time. Fast, 8th level, higher arcane. Here we go, guys. At 8th level or higher, you can cast your arcane spells in light or medium armor without incurring arcane spell failure. You know, that's like adding medium armor now, guys. He's a knight. He's getting better armor and stuff. Like, whoa. And like armored caster, let's see this here. He probably loses stuff. Yeah, he has a chance to fail, I guess. Yeah, but he gets. Yeah, if you wear medium or heavy armor, okay. Yeah, so I guess he can cast. Yeah, so he can cast light armor like a battle sorcerer. But later on, he can get better armor. He can get better armor. But then he can wear heavy armor, but it has a chance and a shield. But he has a chance to serve. You know, it's gonna fail. So he can get a better armor upgrade, right? And he has this like kind of knightly kind of deal with him. He's magic, and you know, it kind of seems really cool, right? He can't be like a dark. He's more of like a good and neutral kind of guy, right? And then the final one that I could find so far, the Swift Blade, a person who just loves haste. It's their specialized, like a narrow focus, like a sorcerer. Doesn't have many spells, right? But just loves this one. Gets some extra bonuses with the ones he can get, or one that she can get. And casts it over and over again, and loves it. And it comes so much focused with this magic that they become one of the same. They become immutable, meaning if they they're like the same thing. They become imbued with it, like as a natural gift, in the same way as a sorcerer is naturally talented, as like a flesh innate magic ability. These guys have just focus. They're on the same house, same family as a sorcerer. They're a narrow focus. They can cast it. They focus on what the narrow focus they get, but they get a lot of it of what they do focus on, and it all kind of melds together into just people like drawn, magnetized to this to blade and haste, melee and haste, melee and haste, and they just become one with it, like the flesh of the sorcerer is one with magic, as the battle sorcerer is both using a blade and magic, but these guys have specialized their magic into haste. They narrow focus as a sorcerer. They're not a broad range like a normal mage. They're narrowed down, and they become naturally gifted like a sorcerer. And that's why I chose the Swift Blade to go with the sorcerer, well, battle sorcerer. And now the spell sword. This is the orthodox mage and the orthodox fighter who doesn't have to be now naturally talented, but can just learn to become equally proficient, equally prowess in their field of combat that is both magic and melee through traditional means of study, of constantly falling down, doesn't rely on a natural talent that just guides them and pulls them. They have to learn it. They have to go and spend more time. They have to put extra hours in. They have to, go. This is a very orthodox, very traditional. You don't have to be talented. Many more people can be these people than so much, say, like a sorcerer. A sorcerer, you have to rely on being the luck of almost nature to be gifted with this innate casting ability, right? That's just wild, mysterious to people not known with it because it's a more rare thing, right? But this is more of a traditional way. Most people, if you have a good brain, you can usually become a mage, right? You don't have to be naturally talented. You can gain that prowess, that skill through just effort and time spent. And I chose the spell sword as the base class because when you hear the word spell and sword, it's like it just comes up with of just like, oh, I get it. He's a sword fighter and he's a spellcaster. It's widely known, and also in the D&D universe, here's it's a generic kind of class. It's a big mixture of the two. Here's the description: the dream of melding magic and weapon play is fulfilled in the person of the spell sword. That is so good for a description. Such a good base. He's not going to any weird tangent. He's just magic, and he is just martial prowess. You know, that's it. That's it, guys. You know, he's got good. He focused. He's got intellect here and stuff like that, right? He can use. Let's see here. Like special feats. Okay, look at this feats. Proficiency with all simple martial weapons, all armor, heavy, medium, and light. Look at that. He can use heavy armor, so he's like a fighter. He's also like a mage, you know? He's just simply a fighter and a mage put together into one class. You know, he's not going anywhere funky. He's just himself or herself, just base at its core. And for me, that was a good starting platform for which you could put kits and neat things and with character and history and neat tangents. And it seemed like a good start. Like as a fighter is to like a dwarven defender, right? Is the spell sword is to a abjurant champion, or a arcane archer, or a duskblade. But as a spell sword, it seemed like a really good start. It seemed like you got magic. You have what was it? You can cast, you can channel your spells, through weapons and stuff like that. You can do that, all that type of stuff. You can, what was it? It just seemed like a good, solid core for the orthodox non-sorcerer style of magic, the traditional mage, if you will, mixed with combat in one class. Now, as I previewed with the kits, I'll dive right into them. The Abjurant Champion. Now, why I picked this as a kit for the orthodox, traditional, non-talented, not non-talented, but non-naturally gifted class of melee and magic is because, before I get into the because, I'll do a nod. This is a very popular, recommended combination prestige class when you're doing like a Gish character. Like all the guides and stuff, all my resource materials, like Average Champion is a great guy, just meshes so well. People I always praise for it, right? But I wanted to look what this was, not what the meta was, but around it, but what it was at its core, right? And both like, and I looked at this, right? And abjurant, that's like abjuration, as a traditional mage school, we focus on shields and stuff like that, the defensive, all that type of stuff, right? So if we go to, Baldur's Gate, I don't want to, I don't want to crash the whole recording thing here, but like, it's a traditional mage school, but it's the variation of aberration that is for even more specialized. That is a champion of aberration, but distilled to the combat values that can really help a person who focuses on both melee and magic, right? For example, let's look at this. You rely on armor and shield, as your main thing. You get these bolsterous spells. I'm thinking of all these possibilities. Like you get this extra magic shield, or whatever, right? That you put on top of your armor, or you could just, like, it just boosts it up. It's more of like a defensive one, so you can go into combat and melee, and just, if you're like the big buff Gish guy, right? If you're the big buff character, you buff up your character and go to melee combat. This would be the guy for you. You can buff your guy up all these defenses and all this type of stuff, right? And this one, let's see here. Oh, is it martial arcane? It would combine. It's like it's all these stuff like that. It seems like it's just like a really buff, heavy defensive kind of character, right? And like, I chose this for as a kit because it's already like as the mage has aberration, the spell sword, would have abjurant champion. It just seemed to fit. It just seemed to fit, It just seemed that it was like the aberration of the hybrid mage fighter specialization. It just seemed like to fit organically, right? It seemed like you had to study like aberration. You have to spend time in to orthodoxly study like all the other mages, right? But you're focusing on just just the aspects that you can use a lot, frequently, like yeah, the armor, the shield, I said, extended, so it increases the buffs of your defenses, of your big extended melee combat, or whatever, right? Or if swift aberration, you can, be more quick at it, and you can choose a boost. It just seemed like it just fit. It was like the melee magic hybrid equivalent of the Orthodox mage's aberration school. It just like, that felt so good. It was a specialization of a traditional magic or Orthodox magic that is the mage. You know, it just seemed like this is the aberration school for spell sword, and the spell sword's a mixture of a fighter and a mage. And this is the specialized version of the aberration school, and that just felt so good to fit in. It didn't quite feel at home with the battle mage or battle sorcerer, because he's more of like a naturally flowing, gifted guy, right? Aberration school on a mage character, that doesn't quite seem to fit, right? That'd be really popular to mix, all those classes and stuff with the meta of third edition, like, but this is, I wanted to focus on what could work in the second edition within Baldur's Gate with classes and kits in the system, not mixing a bunch of prestige classes together, right? We're just focusing on just making base classes with kits, and this seemed like a kit, an aberration kit for a traditional mage fighter hybrid class. That is the spell sword. Next, moving on, the arcane archer. This is as a fighter can use a bow and specialize into that. I felt that when I saw this, I was like, okay, is it a naturally gifted thing? Is it, what's the flavor of this, right? It seems like it's a long range, uses bows, right? Uses fighter. Okay, let's go with that. Let's roll with that. But how's the magic work, right? And look, I went through this. It's like you can or is it once per day? Or is it, let's see here, is it you can, at the end you can create an arrow of death. You can create arrows and you can imbue them. You can, like, you're imbuing stuff, you're creating stuff, you are turning like mundane magic, you're enchanting. It seemed like these were taking little itty bitty pieces out of the mage specializations of, and of was enhancement, like slash enchantment, with like, what's the one, conjuration, and where you could spawn things like that, but it's more for like just specialized with making with range combat, right? You're a fighter mage, an orthodox fighter mage, but you specialize with a little bit of everything. A hybrid mage specialization, but just focuses on range combat. That seemed like it had a lot more in common, because it's already delving into some of the history, some of the makeup of a traditional mage, that is, with its mage specialization schools, right? But a little flavor of each one here, right? And like, it seemed like a traditional, it wasn't like you're naturally gifted, you don't like spew arrows from your hands and stuff like that, right? That like, anyone can do this, anyone can train with this, right? Anyone who's a mage and a fighter could train with this, right? You don't have to be naturally gifted. You're not using your charisma. You're just learning it through time and effort, and you're using traditional mage types of specializations of magic. Like, you're creating your you're creating things, you're conjuring arrows, you're imbuing arrows, you're enchanting arrows, right? Enhancing them. And it just seemed to fit a lot better with a spell sword who relies on learning through time and orthodox magics and reliability and majority. It's not uncommon to find a mage so much, as it is to find, like I say, a sorcerer, because these guys have to rely on like a natural roll of the dice and nature to be a sorcerer, kind of. You can maybe argue the case otherwise, but with the as the rule, not the exception, sorcerers is of natural talent, charisma, and finesse. These guys are through, just kind of hard intellect and learning and just orthodox ways of finding talent, or yeah, finding talent, I guess. And so that really fit for me with what the arcane archer really is at its core, like anyone can learn to be an arcane archer if they're both a fighter and a mage. It seemed like a natural progression, right? And it really fit, I think, with the spell sword, because it's like it uses traditional mage magics specializations, but it's also with a fighter specialization. It just felt like a spell sword kit, range kit. And yeah, so now we have the Dusk Blade. Now, why did I pick the Dusk Blade for the spell sword? Spell sword. The spell sword. Okay, I remember that. Okay, spell sword. Is because, for example, look down. Use intelligence. Ah, important. Intelligence, like a traditional orthodox mage uses intelligence. And strength is like a traditional fighter. They don't rely on natural talent. They have to put time in to learn their spells. Oh, it feels so much like a spell sword, But what's the Dusk Blade? They're special. They're a little bit different from a spell sword, right? They use, for example, let's see here. Let's see here. What's going on here? What's going on here? What is going on here? So this is really in depth. Wow. Maybe I should have picked the other one. Okay. Well. Okay. We got weapons. Let's see here. You can use yeah, you can have ability of a touch spell through your weapon, I think. Yeah, so you can channel through your weapons and stuff like that. And let's see here. Oh, there's what is it? Feet. There's some. Let's see here. Bloodstone. Oh, there's a champ. Let's see. This looks unprofessional. This is like a bump in the road right here. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Spellcasting feats, combat feats. Let's see here. General feats. What are we going for? What are we going for, guys? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay, so let's just read the description here, guys. Let's see here. Cast blast cities, and intellectual warriors. Okay, that's a good start. Special in fighting, spellcast. However, they shine. Okay, yeah. So they can. Yeah. So let's see here. So what do they use for armor? Okay, armored mage. The abilities use ignore weapons. They can channel. So that through their weapons and stuff like that. Quick cast. Let's say Dust Blade, small spells, arcane attunement, for cantrip, blah 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 blah. What is going on here? Combat. When do you acquire? Okay, what is going on here? What is going on? Okay, so what makes them different? What makes them specialized? Combat feats, arcane, chanting, power attack. Let's see here. These are the ones casting. It's got to be something now. There's a reason. There's a really good point. I guess this is one of the first classes I came across. So it was okay, spells. Okay, here we go. Let's look at these spells here. This is a flavor of. Okay, so let's see here. Level 0, not much here. Disrupt undead. Oh, is it like a tripping hand, blade of blood, cause fear, chill touch, color spray, jump, Kilgor's firebolt. Oh yeah, I remember. They're all like kind of close range spells. They're all kind of like yeah, they're all kind of like close range, specialized to close range and kind of melee combat, right? Instead of like kind of like a general use of like a spell or a spell blade, kind of like all over generalized magic. These guys are like close range melee combat stuff, right? Oh, now I remember. Now, yeah. See, these are all like kind of buffs and close range stuff, right? Oh, I remember it now. And they also the sorcerer's hexblade has like this curse, has like this witch curse it can use, and that's a unique thing of this guy. He's kind of like that, but he's got this like he's got, okay, let's go down to spells here. He can use, let's see here, oh, somewhere, maybe it's one of his feats, I don't know. But he has like this cool like hex he can put on people, and it's like a debuff, and it's like a witch. He's like a witch fighter guy. He's kind of like dark magic and, kind of lone wolf kind of guy. And, but this guy, the Dusk Blade is all like close range and like just support magic that goes with melee combat. It really specializes, not like a spell blade, which is just kind of mixture of the broad appeal of a mage. Is kind of can go over like a non-specialist mage can have a whole array of magic. These guys have a limited school of spells, right? They give up that generic broad scope of spells for a close encounters melee kind of combat. They're like the melee mage. You know, they go out there and they're kind of like they're really mixed. They're like a hybrid melee mage, not so much like as in a spell sword is a good base for a whole bunch of combat styles. This guy just goes into I'm gonna be close range guy who mixes like fighting with melee with close range spells, which I can channel through my weapon. It's just like you know. And he uses intellect. He's a smart warrior. He's like a mage and a warrior put together, and he's and intellectual warriors, right? Who use time and effort to gain their abilities. That was a bit of a long-winded point there. I kind of lost my footing halfway, but that felt like a spell sword, like a traditional mage, orthodox magic, but specialized right into the traditional mage schools, right? Also, the Dusk Blade is like a its lore behind it is like these an old ancient tradition of mixing magic casting and sword fighting, right? And you have to train it, you have to study it, it doesn't come through natural talent, it has to be learned through effort, as its lore. And I was like, that's like a mage. Instead of as a sorcerer is like kind of natural talent, a gift. A mage is through effort, through time spent, through orthodox, through reading, through effort. That felt like a spell sword to me, and that is why, for me, the Dust Blade is in with the spell sword. Did I say spell blade for a long time? Spell sword. Now this guy, the Ramathari, Battle Mage, whichever one it is. And I wanted to make sure that the Unapproachable East, because I don't own it, was set in Faerûn, which is Baldur's Gate. And here's the box, and it is set in the Forgotten Realms. It's got Thay and stuff like that, and Rashomon. Here it is on the map. See, it's around here somewhere. Unapproachable East is the border region, so it's set in here. So this is in the Baldur's Gate universe, and this guy is like, I'll read the description: employing sword and spell with dauntless courage and deadly force. The handful of Ramathari battle mages remaining in the world comprise a lonely and little-known order of adventurers, explorers, and mercenaries in search of battle. They can cast in combat, the exotic weapon proficiency, bastard sword. They use a bigger sword, a bastard sword, right? So they can cast magic and stuff like that. And they have this old school language they have, and it's like this traditional culture, like the elves with the dusk blade, but different. It's from the east. It's from exotic, as in like where mints came from, kind of around that kind of exotic, not around from the local area. Kind of somebody would have to train you, was maybe drop by Candlekeep. It was like he trained you, so you wanted to learn because maybe he was in there. And I'll read this, guys. Right, this sounds like a kit to me. A character must find a mentor who already has levels in Ramathari Battle Mage and spend at least 10 days studying in the mentor's company. During this time of study, the mentor and the student must spend 8 hours days of training. That sounds like what you're doing in Candlekeep, training. You're around books and people of learned nature, of mentors. Like that could easily, you got visitors there in your backstory of your character. You learned, as a player character, current chair name, car name. You were around these people who were, who came to the keep. Like there's that mage in your backstory of when you're a little kid, whatever. You pulled on his cloak, whatever, right? And also, if you're an NPC, that's all this depth and stuff. You could be from this region. You could be an adventurer, you know, because they want to be. Let's see here. It says, you know, in search of battle. You came all the way all around the world, and now you're at the Sword Coast, a pull of some type of story intrigue. That'd be a cool NPC, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be a cool NPC? The little skimpy hit dies. We can mess around with that, can't we? Now, and then, you know. So look at this. You know, that's already specialized for a kit, right? But like, you gotta learn it like a traditional mage, not like a talent. So it's just a traditional study. That's like a mage. And spells per day, so spells per known. Each character grows as a. Okay, look at this. Here we go. Sword focus. Perform a spiritual rite to make a single sword into a focus for his spells. The focus sword can then replace any material component less than 50 gold value in casting for the battle mage's spells. The sword is not consumed or damaged by its use or as a focus, although it must be in the hand to be used in this way. The Ramathari battle mage gains +1 caster level with any spell cast through his focus sword or sword focus. The right to create a sword requires 3 days and a bunch of money, magical materials and stuff like that. You know, if you lose the sword, he's gonna do it again. But this is like a sword. Did you hear that, guys? He's like, he can make his sword like to have this like aura around it. This cool ancient Eastern kind of like foreign exotic like culture can make like this cool like battle mage kind of guy have his sword which he specializes in, the bastard sword, right? And an exotic weapon proficiency. He makes his exotic weapon like buffed out, so when he casts it he can use it as like so when he's using channel spell through his cool sword, which he's just hitting people with like touch spells and stuff. As he's slicing them, he's doing like chill touch or shocking touch or whatever, right? But also then since his class his kit is so cool with his sword focus, like it's like a big channel material, and just boom, and it magnifies it. That's so cool. It's like a lightning rod swords, bam, big magic. It's so cool. That sounds so cool. That's such flavor to it, guys. Look at that. Wow, you can make a kit out of that. And you gotta learn it like a mage. You gotta like study and cast orthodox wise. Oh, that seems like it just goes with a spell of a spell sword, and just like, oh, it just feels like it meshes together, right? Feels like it adds an extra layer, and there's some like probably some drawbacks. Maybe lose some hit points or something. I don't know. There's always possibilities you could have, right? And then there's another one, Runesmith. Now this is a cool one, right? Now, you know, like usually you can't be like a dwarf mage and stuff like that, right? But let's read this out. Like, this is like the fighter mage, but for dwarves. It's really cool. Now, let's hear this out. A runesmith has learned to harness the power of runes and can fling fireballs and other staple arcane spells even while encased in full plate armor. Now that is cool. You can only be a dwarf. And, you know, so if you're gonna be like, so say if you're gonna be like a spell sword, right? You have to be the only one a dwarf can use is the runesmith. Ah, right? That's so cool. Maybe lose some hit points. I don't know. But like this, like you can cast a bunch of spells and stuff. But like, for example, let's see here. You gotta. But you gotta make these runes. You gotta like prepare like these cool things that you can make these runes which are spells, right? For example, you can make a fireball rune for a fireball spell, a magic missile rune for a magic missile, right? And you can do this, and then later on you can share your runes to other people, so anyone can use it. Whoa, you know. And then like Stonecraft, you get better at doing this stuff. And then if you want to do it, you can do a permanent rune. You can just once per day, whatever, right? You can make this blast like a real mage, right? There's also a berserker variant, a rune scarred berserker, which is more like a berserker kind of kit, which is I didn't want to put on here. It was close though, but permanent rune, he go right into his body. He is the object of his casting power. He is the medium. He's basic, unorthodox, traditional, also mage. He's like a dwarf's finding a way to cast magic through artifice and creation. That's so cool. and he uses a big stocky dwarf guy in his armor, shooting like using almost like wands. He's making almost like wands with these runes. It's like RuneScape but different almost, right? And like he's using these expendable one charge wands all the time. And it's like his dwarfs are good at making magical stuff, and he's just doing a loophole like in the spirit of it, right? But he's using it through. This isn't like a natural gift. He's got to do it like he's got to use his mind, his intellect, his ability to create through orthodox means. He's an orthodox caster using an unorthodox system. He's going around the curves. He's realized, okay, I can't cast magic very good, but these objects can, and I can become an object of casting. Like I can become a wand, pretty much. Ah, it's so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool, guys. Ah, and it just felt like, oh yeah, this is going with the spell sword. Oh yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. And now the beguiler, This is like an illusion. As it starts off, it's kind of like a specialized mage thief. Ah, so cool. But it's all one. Instead of like being like the bard, you gotta rely on magic and stuff, and you all this stuff. So most people don't want to be like or like don't care about the music. Some people don't care about this. They're like, this is like a thief that can cast magic and wear good armor, right? These guys are just like thieves, right? But they can specialize in magic more. It's more of like illusion. They're like an illusionist thief, kind of, rolled into one class. But they got some other stuff in there. Because, for example, they can, let's see here, you got, diversity abilities. They're intellect caster, like, oh, I use magic and stuff. They can find traps, and also they got these other, things. They can open locks, I think, too. Let's see here. Like, somewhere I read, guys, they could open locks. I was one of their feats. Like, they could, open up, okay, did I pass feats and tricks skills? Class skills. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Okay, we can. What this will equate to Baldur's Gate stuff, right? So you can. What was it? Disable a device. You can disarm traps. You can. You can hide, I guess. Like like go into shadows and stuff like that. Like a normal thief. You can listen. Let's see. Move silently like a normal thief. Open locks. There we go, guys. Open locks. Oh, that's great. That is great. You can speak much language. You can cast spells and open locks. That's hallelujah. In your one class. Ah, like that's like it's like a mixture. It's I don't have to be like magic, and you don't have to like dance around and use magic or use magical songs and stuff. You're just a mage and a thief put together, but you're not. You lose certain things of a thief, and you lose certain things of a mage, but you're all one kind of thing, right? But because, for example, the beguiler is all about illusionist magic, all about it's specialized. You don't have this big diverse range of um of spells. Let's see here. Ability. Where is this? Where is this? Where are the spells? Okay, number 4. Number feats. They're around here somewhere. Meta magic flaws. Here we go, guy. Here we go. Look at this. You got. It's all about like kind of thiefy magic spells. Thiefy spells. Look at this. Like distract, net of shadows, power word, pain, shock, and all that. Like those big like the big flashbang or something, right? Power word stricken, like like cut him behind his ankles, and stupidity, like don't fight even grounds and stuff. Shadow, hideous laughter, stingray, all these kind of like sly, kind of like shadowy spells, right? It's kind of you're like this thief mage. Boom, put together. It's kind of these custom spells put in there, so that, right? Power word disable. It's like celebrating, like just mashing a thief and an illusion, like a stealthy thief and a mage together, like a stealthy magic user. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. And then equipment. What do we got here? We can use. I think we can use armor somehow. I think we can. I don't know. Somewhere we can use armor. Okay. Let's look at the above here. It's got to be around here somewhere. It's got to be a da ba da ba doo ba dee ba ba doo ba. It's got to be around here somewhere. It's got to be races, abilities. Let's see here, armored mage. Okay, let's see. That suggests armor. It's got to be around here somewhere. Let's see here. Intellect. Armor mage. I'm pretty damn sure you can use. Let's see here. Equipment. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm pretty sure. Okay, this guy's using like leather armor, so like, I'm pretty sure like, he could probably use leather armor. I don't. This looks really unprofessional now. These damn guides, they're not to the point, straightforward. Damn it. That's the guide's fault. That's the one. Okay. Let's see here. What armor can I use? Okay. Damn it. Okay. What is going on here? Okay. This is looking bad. Looking bad. But I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. We can use armor. That is. Okay. What is going on here? Okay. It's gotta be around here somewhere. Okay, guys. Okay. I don't want to have this up to an assumption. I don't want to make this an assumption. Okay, so we're gonna go right. Okay, look at all this. This is like it's right off the books. This looks unprofessional. Unprofessional. I have to admit. This looks like crap. I didn't prepare, but I'm too far into the damn video to click it once. Okay, so we want B guy. Oh, you know what I could do? Oh. I got it right here, guys. Oh, look at that. Bam. Ah, yeah. Here we go. Now we're rocking and rolling. Blah, 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 blah. Bagals have quick wits and blah, 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 blah. Dexterity, blah, 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 blah. Races, blah, 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 blah. Alignment, blah, 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 blah. Class features. Armor, ha, we found it, guys. A proficient with all simple weapons, a hand cross, blah, 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 blah. And light armor, ha, we found it, guys. Light armor. Oh, yeah, we got it. Light armor. Light armor and light crossbows, pretty much, and hand crossbows and rapier and a short bow and a short sword. They're like a mixture of a thief and kind of like thiefy magic all put together. We got it, guys. We got it. Look at that. Not so unprofessional now. Still unprofessional, but we're getting there. We're learning how to be professional. Okay, now here's the kit. Here's the guys. Here's the kit. Spell thief. Now this guy, he's like steals magic spells and stuff, right? He's like a sneak attack and he can steal those spells. He's not no fighter guy. He's a thief and he's a mage at the same time, but he's not so generic and broad. He's also like this guy, a beguiler. He's kind of like he's a thiefy, sneaky mage, right? So he's his own class. He's officially supported, right? He's in the 3.5 book. Look at this. He's in the 3.5 book, beguiler. He's a class. So that's the base class. That was my orientation for who's going to be the base class, and look at this. Spell thief. Now this guy, oh, he's so good for just like for a kit. Oh, look at this. He can siphon a spell energy away from his target and use it himself. He's got steel, health, steel, mana, but instead is a spell. Ah, that's so good. Ah, man, it's such a good kit. Oh, it's like specialized, right? It's like a one-trick pony. The guy's like saying, "Oh, it's a one-trick pony," right? But like, you suck against people who don't, who you can't use your spell steal against, right? That's your trade-off. But if you're good against, like, if you have mages and stuff, you can use it and you can steal, right? Energy resistance. Ah, look at that. That's so good. So it's like you're like a anti-combat mage. You can combat. You can use your stealthy, steely stuff, but you can delve into the magical plane and steal all the magical energies and stuff like that out of mages and stuff. But you're kind of weak against people who don't use magic. It's a good kit. It's like a trade-off, like kits and stuff, right? You want to be like more of a magic combat kind of beguiler. You can be a spell thief. It sounds so cool. Maybe you can have some trade-offs. I don't know what they could be. We'll figure that out. Anyway, then an arcane trickster. This guy, look at this. He's like a trickster, but he uses the arcane and look at this. He uses intrigue and larceny and just mischief. That sounds like a thief. And he's an arcane thief. Look at this. He's good tricksters are proficient in weapons. Maybe that's the trade-off. We'll find out. But look at this. He can use his he uses arcane and his thief spells at a distance. He can disable devices at a distance, open locks at a distance, sleight of hand at a distance, working at a distance with all these other crazy things. That's cool. You can do stuff at a distance. That's a cool thing. Sneak attack, impromptu sneak attack. But we can figure stuff out. Maybe you can do like a range backstab. That'd be so crazy. That would be insane. We could do something cool with this one. We can do something with that. Range thief stuff with magic. Oh, that sounds so cool. And then maybe like no armor or something. I don't know, but we can figure it out. and you can what I don't know what mage hand is, but it's probably something cool. And oh, it just sounds so cool. Look, how you gotta have all these. You got the cyber script, disable device, escape bar, knowledge, and arcana. So basically, you're like a weird distance mage thing. I don't know. We could put stuff in there. What would be a trickster, like an arcane, like a gnome guy? What would be like a arcane? I don't know, like a beguiler gnome. What would they be up to, right? The kind of trickster, like doing stuff like that. What they use? They use intrigue, larceny, and mischief. And this is open stuff, and we could do so much. I don't know. We can like maybe we can lay down traps at range. Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, that sounds like what a trickster would do, tripping over people and stuff like that. Here, let's see here. Maybe you can use some maybe you have some cool spells. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got down here? Sneak and prop to attack. Okay, so that sounds like a good kit. You have this kind of like weird like range arcane trickster stuff we can use like your thief abilities at range and also magic stuff at range, and it was like seemed kind of like a kit. I think it needs some expansion, some expanding, I think, because it's not quite maybe a bit a weaker one, if we didn't expand upon it. Anyway, what's the next one? Arcane Duelist. Okay, what's an arcane duelist? Last but not least, what's an arcane duelist? Duelist, a well-known figure in many taverns and streets and roadways, exchanging bulk for speed. The duelist's sword flashes as its wielder mocks their heaviest, slower opponents. However, not all possess the skill of a duelist, the raw ability to slice and dice and mince their foes and make them look stupid. So some have to resort to arcane to be a good duelist, to match step for step. So they have to dive into this. And the duelist is like a thief. I think he's a thief. Yeah, he's like a thief. I think he's a thief kit or whatever. Right? He's like a not thief kit, but it's just yeah. It's like you gotta use dodge, mobility, weapon finesse, and it's just Okay, let's see here. Look, okay, let's read off these abilities here. So chosen weapon, got enchant weapon. You're gonna what is it? Yeah, enchant chosen weapon. Let's see here. The chosen weapon does. It makes it so that lose another. Look at this. Effective. Charisma bonus. Okay. Dexterity. Here we go. It's all about like dexterity. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Now I'm pretty sure I looked up at a Baldur's Gate. 1 second. 1 second. What's going on here? Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's just look at this. Arcane Duelist. Now, I was reading through this here, and for example, Blur, like that's kind of like a like let's see, like a duelist. Let's see. What was that? Why is it like a duelist? Why did I pick this? Okay, so like a duelist is like think of like a rogue, right? Kind of not like look at this. The weapons, for example, right? Like they're kind of like what like a thief would use, like a duelist, like a person who would what do we got here? 1 second, guys. 1 second. We got a crazy thing. Okay. So alright. Now back with a bug in the room. Okay. So I picked a duelist for an arcane duelist for a beguiler because it was like magic. It was kind of like sly kind of. Like as a thief, it doesn't have to be like super sneaky. It can just be like a kind of like the like almost like a swashbuckler. I think of like a duelist, right? All about agility, not heavy in the armor, right? Just kind of using a dexterity to outwit the foes. Like a thief. A thief doesn't have heavy armor. They use their dexterity to get their talents across, right? They they're not so much heavy hitting. They can backstab, yes, but they're on average don't hit as much in melee combat. For example, this guy he can make his weapons like have like less damage, but have a higher chance to hit, right? Like the whole argument of dexterity is better than strength, right? This guy is pretty much that. He can make the weapon, the rapier, the preferred weapon, have a high, incredible, crazy amount chance to hit, right? But it also like it can, but it takes away damage. So it's a trade-off of hitting all the time, pretty much, but with reduced damage. And like it seems like you don't need to be a big, strong, bulky warrior, but rather a clever, intellectual, like thief, right? As in, a thief is a clever, streetwise person who use their mind and agility, mind and agility. These guys use their quick, their quick agility mixed with magic, to really augment and to always hit and to boost up their not so talented. Sword fighting abilities, right? To make it look like they can still go toe to toe, with people. And it just seemed like a good extra little kit on there, to, for example, false keenness. That's here. So basically, like, makes it weapon. It just seemed like a good good kit. It was like an arcane duelist. Couldn't quite see it as its own class, and it didn't quite seem to fit with like the whole warrior mage, like a fighter mage. It seemed kind of like a more sly, more subtle, more dexterous focus, as in for example, a beguiler is it has, I guess, let's see, intellects, intelligence and dexterity, right? And charisma, intelligence, dexterity, charisma. So we got three. We got look at that. We got this going on. Everyone uses constant. I don't really count, but we got this going on. We also have strength. So then we go at this, right? And we go arcane duelist, and instead of like dueling with magic, they use like swords and stuff, right? Like a thief, like a melee fighter. And for example, these guys want dexterity. They want intellect, and they have a charisma bonus. I sniped a charisma bonus in here somewhere. It was where was it? I was wow, charisma, wow, and it was totally, yeah, it was in here somewhere. False keenness, I don't know. It was in here somewhere. It was somewhere in the top. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's in here somewhere. It has a charisma bonus. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Oh, I want to get that charisma bonus. Here we go. Here we go. Boom, charisma. Look at that. Aha, we got it. Anyway, so it uses like a charisma, right? So yeah, it uses trickery like a thief. Like a thief. Not like warriors and stuff don't really use trickery. Trickery like a thief, and charisma like a like this guy here, the beguiler. And it's like a thief. It just seems like a thief, like a not super big, tough, big, heavy armor guy, but kind of like light armor, kind of, kind of sneaky, but more for combat instead of like being in the shadows. Goes ha ha, and just shadow. You know how a bard is like all about like showmanship and stuff like that, right? Well, thieves can also do that, right? You can be like a showmanship thief, and you can use trickery, and you also use some charisma, and you use your arcane ability, and it just in your dexterity. And you can trade strength for dexterity. That seems like what kind of thieves do, right? Yeah, for example, like a good thief doesn't have to have a lot of strength, and it just seemed like a good thiefy. It seemed like a good mix. So when you do this, when you look at this chart, you have a beguiler, which is a thief mage incarnate. You have a spells thief who kind of really good for combating magic and stuff like that, but kind of loses some ability when it comes to with like physical stuff, right? And maybe also some stuff we can throw in there for like losing some spell, some like maybe some, I don't know, some real world like thieving abilities. I don't know, but we can figure something out. And we got Arcane Trickster here, which is it's like almost like a sneaky ha ha kind of, almost like what a gnome is, right? It uses arcane think of it like the like a trickster, right? Like someone who just goofs around, pulls like pranks and stuff like that, right? But it's like a mage and stuff like that, just uses like trips people and stuff like that, and drops a bucket of water on the guy's head from afar, and makes like ties their shoes when they're not looking, right? With their magic abilities, and you know it makes their weapon unable to pull out. Just make their opponents look really stupid, and like make them everyone laugh at them and stuff like that, right? And for example, like say two people are standing beside, tie one person's shoe to the other guy's shoe or something like that, or tie their cloak behind, or to something, or make them have like bad dexterity, so they suck at combat and dance around and laugh at them, almost like a duelist but with magic and stuff, right? Instead of using like the sword to make them embarrassed, like, oh, look, how amazing like showmanship, they use just like they use magic and stuff like that, and they can also pull off a bunch of tricks. They can like open locks and stuff out of far. They can like do stuff like, oh no, my cat's in a tree, ha ha ha, and take that out. Or they can like, oh, haha, I stole your gold out of your pocket. Now I'm jumping away or teleporting or whatever, right? And so they're like a bastard mage. They're like just a trickster bastard mage. That's what they are. And and the arcane duelist is just like a guy who uses a sword and just duels and stuff like that, and big showmanship, like, oh, and but uses like augments it with like they're not like they couldn't quite be a duelist, so with the natural talent, so they had to kind of use magic to go toe to toe to do their own thing, and they also have their own unique flavor to them, right? So the beguiler is just as its own, it's just kind of like a thiefy mage, like shadowy magic and stuff like that, with like thief skills woven in, so they all kind of mash and it's good positive overlap, right? But specialized, not the big broad appeal of of like a thief, kind of shittier thief, but shittier mage, but like it works together, you don't have bard songs like that. You can't inspire, more like a solo agent kind of deal, but you can also like mass effect on stuff with like AOE spells somewhat, uh, you know, and like but then you can specialize for like more more magic combat kind of deal. If you're fighting mages, you want to fight mages all the time. You can use your own abilities, your shadow stuff. You can sneak up with people, and you can take their magic away and dispel them, and like steal their resistances and buff your own resistances, and just mess around with that. But you kind of trade off some physical abilities for that. But then if you want to do arcane trickster, if you want to just mess around with people, you want to debuff them, you want to do a bunch of silly things like that. You want to like do pickpockets at range, just dispel traps, put traps at range or something, just mess around and have like kind of these like use your magic and just have all these really nifty kind of tricks in your pocket you can really pull in combat, and they kind of more of a versatility thing I'm feeling, like that would make a lot of sense for that guy. And an arcane duelist, you want to focus like on like your melee ability. You always want to hit people. You want to imbue your weapon with like a certain spell, but you want to hit him, like first strike. With the duelist, you're more like melee combated. This like the spell thief is more like spell casting combat. Mage, like for wizards and stuff, for fighting them, like the anti-wizard. The trickster is more like a versatile class, more of a kind of range, like you can kind of do, it broadens your approach, but also kind of like you kind of shy away from the whole kind of focus of just like a shadow thief and a shadow mage. You kind of broaden it up with like tricky spells and so that you kind of if you want to do that kind of thing. Or you can be like a duelist. You can kind of really specialize in the melee combat. You're limited with your weapons, right? But you can, you can really make so you hit all the time, and it's like you're channeling, like basically when you go to do like a melee like a touch spell through your weapon, it'll always hit. So that's really good for like say. So you can sneak up to him, like have your weapon enchanted with like say like a shocking touch or whatever, or like a chill touch or ghoul touch, and then you'll have this crazy amount of the hit roll. So that'll be a really good balance for that if you want to be like a backstab guy. But you want to focus on like magic backstab more so than just raw damage, which is kind of nerfed anyway, which I always see as a good balance. So that would make a lot of sense if you want. So this guy's like a anti. This is like a magic fighter, like an anti-magic fighting, like fights mages and stuff. Weak with weaker for against people who aren't magic. He's like specialized. This guy's just like a really not generic, but he's more generalized, and he kind of opens up more avenues. Like this is the Arcane Trickster, or opens up more avenues, more versatility, but also sacrifices some of the specialization, which is like illusions and stuff like that, right? And maybe some like really specialized thief abilities. He just opens it up and kind of more of a broad focus. This guy is like more of a melee combat, with also with a kind of unique flavor of magic. Okay, that's the Beguiler. Okay, so now the Spell Sword, this guy, he's all about defense. He's all about the shield buffs. Like you buff up your character a lot, right? Then you go on melee combat or range combat, right? All like these guys like a magic defense specialist, a magic defense specialist. You want to be just magic defense, like a tank. I guess he's the tank character. I guess, eh? He's the tank, the magic tank. Just crazy. This guy's the range specialization, right? He's the magic. This guy is like he's like the elven like specialization. He's a close range melee combat. This guy's the tank. This guy's the close range DPS. This guy's the range DPS. Uh, this guy is like this guy who can channel like a bunch of cool varied spells through his sword. He's basically like a sword wand guy. He can put a whole bunch of spells and stuff like that onto his weapon, and so he's like this guy, but it goes through his weapon. He gets his unique abilities. I guess it would make a lot of sense. So it's more like melee combat. This guy's more like not so much on the just like the physical damage, more for like the close range spells with also good melee combat, but not so much the long range and kind of not so much diversity. This guy is more for like he's got some diversity, but it's also kind of mixed into his sword, and he's got this cool like sword buff, so he's got like better swords than this guy. The Runesmith is like the dwarven variant of this. He kind of bypasses the whole thing where he can't, or he or it can't cast magic. They have to make like these little one charge like wand things, which are like rune stones, but then he could turn into a big wand pretty much, and it's really cool. He uses full plate armor, and and these are like this is like the school. This is like the thinking of like the mage, their traditional way of thinking of how to learn magic through time spent and effort and learning and reading. And then here's the guys who spend just like their natural talent, gifts. They kind of roll the dice for nature. And this guy is just like a sorcerer, but he can also go to battle. So, and but then he can specialize in like in kind of witchcrafty kind of curses and stuff like that. And you know, um, and this guy's like he's kind of like a knight, kind of like an idealist. He can't be evil. He's a defender. He's almost like a paladin, but not really. He's like a paladin that uses magic, and he's just he's like a natural flowing kind of just he's imbued with the weave. He is one with the weave. This guy he's one with haste. He's specialized. He's become haste incarnate. He's become like fast. He's become fast melee combat with just haste. He's like a haste specialist. He's like naturally attuned to haste. You know. And then alright, here's my That's it, guys. That's it. All his classes look so fun. These are the things I missed so much out of Dungeons and Dragons. These are the guys that I wanted to play. I didn't want to play a bard because I have all these. Like, I didn't want to sing songs and stuff like that, right? I actually found some bard kits and some other class kits, like a martial wizard and a like a song dancer or blade dancer. All these things that go with other classes, but these are the ones that I found that really just So basically, this guy's like a sorcerer. Uh, Fighter hybrid. This guy is a mage fighter hybrid. This guy is a thief mage hybrid. Okay, so please, please, please. I know this is a huge long video, right? And this is probably crazy long video, but like, if you can give any feedback, I would totally appreciate it. Because I'll show you what I did in like 10 hours here, guys. Like, just if you're going this far into the video, I'll show you what I went up to, right? So, and just going crazy on this website. Here's all the stuff I went through. I read pretty much all of this. Just 10 hours of research, just non-stop, just going crazy, going nuts. And also, this is not the full extent. Like, I'll show you, like, just just Google research and stuff like that, right? And that's one. This is one window. And then here's this other one. Look at this, guys. It just keeps on going. I didn't have enough room on my tab, so I had to make a new window. I just had to all these crazy things. That I was like, what are hybrid classes? What are the classes? Here's a dust blade. The picture, you know. For example, there's really good pictures of up here, right? So this is like a dust blade. It's like an elven mage, traditional, like all kind of really usual magic, traditional magic kind of deal. This is like kind of like dark, mysterious. Woo, lone wolf. No one understands me, and I'll use my hexes, my witchcraft, and a witch will run away like a witch because people don't like me, or don't trust me, right? So that's kind of a difference. Like, the picture really gets in that, you know. And then yeah, so I did all these, just went right, just went to town on the research. I had to do a whole bunch of, this is all in one day too, so I had to download this, and I gotta make the cool covers anyway. Yeah, then there's that, and then there's this. What was it? Oh, I put all this together pieced it all together. And then there's this one, which is just more stuff like that. And there's also ones I deleted because I just didn't have enough room. So I spent a lot of time into this. But for example, this website here, like when I just type in, look how much classes there are. So if you can find any more classes that fit this architecture, like hybrid magic, please look at this. There's like there's like over 1,000 uh, classes. And these are all documented. These are all from source books. So I just couldn't go through all 1,000 in one day. I just couldn't. Um, so if you know any, and some of them aren't listed on here also. So I didn't just use this all. I use a bunch of other websites as you saw. But if you have any other classes, anything like that, I'd appreciate it so much. Just yeah, I'm only one person. My mind's like literally just I had to blow up my mind like I was like the Grinch when he had to expand his heart like a bunch of times. That was my mind real knowledge. So mine's just crazy expanded today. So if you have any feedback, please give it. Constructive. Hope don't be like, oh, he's a dink, whatever. Just please be constructive, and I'll appreciate it so much. Oh, it'd be great. Anyway, I gotta put this into a video. So, yeah, thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening so long. Oh man, this is a long video, and yeah, thank you so much for listening to this, and please, 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 please give feedback. Anyway, take care, have fun, whoop ass, and thank you for listening so much. Appreciate it so much.